Ukraine took away my territory, and now I don't have enough land for my people, cries Russia. What am I supposed to do as the biggest country by land area in the world? What's funny about this, though, is that they're technically only 9th in terms of population, though, and just like so many other countries, they're not really growing. They're probably gonna get passed up even more. But yeah, they totally just need more land for their people. Guys, finally we found it. Indian lore. We have the Indian leader here about to launch some sort of axe. Who is he fighting? Who is the anime enemy? Okay, obviously it's the leader of China, the Chinese president. Oh no, who's he calling upon for help? It's Putin and Trump randomly. I don't know why. The Japanese guy, which he's... Okay, this might be some older Indian lore. Yeah, China clearly stands no chance. I'm a firm believer that every country in the world should have its own little anime opening sequence. Maybe they drop a new updated version every year to see what's going on currently. Swiss companies sent Taiwan's missile device to China for repairs. Taiwan blankly staring. The Swiss not realizing what they've done. China like, this is a little awkward. Meanwhile, there's the USA like, are you serious right now? This is like the geopolitical equivalent of like the most awkward thing happening at school. Poor Switzerland, it could have happened to anyone. No! Not the Duolingo bird on the grill. This guy clearly got one too many reminders to do his Spanish lessons for today. I guess he was the one that was gonna vanish after all. America, we're the 11th richest country in the world. Why is homelessness such an issue? Also, America, definitely worth the 10 million. Wow, such art. I've been seeing this image everywhere across the internet. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. Non-Dutch people trying to understand Dutch. This is why I'm convinced it's not even really a real language. It's actually like this massive social experiment all of the Netherlands is doing across the world. They're trying to prank us. I know their language isn't real. I can't believe Mexico voted to leave the European Union. And just like Brexit, even Mexico had to have their own saying. When did Mexico update their M to look like McDonald's, though? How was a country from North America even allowed to be in the European Union in the first place? Me walks into a friend's house. Their chihuahua named Cupcake coming to gnaw on my ankles. I love how every chihuahua is pretty much like this, too. Imagine we wake up one day and every chihuahua is like 100 times bigger. The whole world would be destroyed in like 8 seconds. It'd be like fighting giant dinosaurs. Pizza with pineapples versus pizza without pineapples. Oh look, they're enjoying both sides. Me, who enjoys pineapples without pizza. I, for one, can get behind this. Why would I want dough, sauce, and cheese combined with this beauty? God watching humans build the Tower of Babel, but then realizing he can punish them by making them speak French. Oh wait, you know what? I think this is gonna work out after all. I'm like so lucky no one from France pretty much watches my channel. These memes are just unrelentless. Out of all the countries that have watched me in the last 28 days, the French are actually in 20th place, all the way even behind Russia. Wait, how exactly does that work? Finally, the most perfect AI-only state battle. Been making videos like this for 10 years, yet this random poop post comes around, and it's literally the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yes, we all know that Wyoming ultimately won that battle, but I think the Utahns down here ultimately got the last laugh by convincing everyone that Wyoming isn't even real. Wait, but imagine losing territory to a complete made-up state. How does that even work? Germans in northern France? Ah, yes, there is good wine, some good-looking women. I expect more food, but meh, it's better than being on the Eastern Front. Meanwhile, Germans in southern France, HQ, respond! They wiped out an entire regiment. Please send reinforcements. Hello? I know we joke about France a lot, but their French resistance movement in the south of France was pretty crazy. I would definitely advise anyone to go in and learn about that if you're interested. Ah, a childhood classic. Thomas the little train with his friend, Gustav the railgun. And let me tell you something, Gustav did not mess around. If anyone bullied Thomas, they would see the full wrath of this massive machine. That'd be like a perfect time to rattle off all these facts that I knew about this random railgun. With a mass of almost 1,400 tons, a length of almost 50 meters, 32.5 meters in terms of barrel length, Gustav was not to be messed with. The Aztecs looking for the right spot to build their biggest city. Too hot. Too easy. Too rocky. Ah, there we go. Perfect. Gonna build our biggest city literally on a lake, just because we saw an eagle and a snake on a cactus. Mexico decided to remind everyone of this great decision too by slapping it right there on their flag. Caveman ancestors seeing how I have a way easier life in the 21st century, yet I'm still depressed. They literally out here just clowning on us. But like quite literally. One of the many consequences of living in this society. Single man in China once booked every other seat in a cinema theater to split up couples on Valentine's Day. Talk about completely based right here. He's literally me. Please come to California. Hello, I'm an AI simulation of J. Robert Oppenheimer. I may not be historically accurate. Please verify factual information. Hey yo, say the line! I am become death, destroyer of worlds. Alright, this is how you know AI is just getting way too powerful. The fact that we just have to say the line to the AI Oppenheimer and he knows exactly what we're all talking about. Someone's gotta stop this. A sad person versus a sad person in the Balkans. Yeah, safe to say one might be a little bit more sad than the other. Maybe this guy shouldn't be so sad after all. How Balkan countries fix their problems. We have Slovenia with a problem. They just come up with a solution. Bulgaria with a problem. I think they take maybe someone's purse and then that's how they find a solution. When Greece has a problem, they just close down. But I don't even know what Romania is doing. Italy's data was rejected for not being Balkan enough. Then there's Serbia. When they have a problem, they just go to their old reliable. It's like a pastime here. I mean, hey, to each their own. Every place has to figure out their own way to come to a solution. Olaf, what have you decided about the tanks? Sorry, I don't speak Polish, but I speak to you in English. Oh crap, that didn't work. Crazy that after all this time, like a full year since everything's gone down, they still out here battling for that meme sphere. They know where wars are won in 2023. Rare video captured by divers shows a 2.5 meter giant squid swimming in the waters of Japan's west coast. Giant squid are known to live in the waters around the country and occasionally wash ashore, but seeing them alive in the wild remains relatively rare. As always, just weird sea monsters being gobbled down by this single country. Save some for the rest of us out here. Come on. Is this why their no-no anime is so weird sometimes? A reminder that Japan, the poster child for the demographic issue, now has the highest fertility rate in developed East Asia. This has actually been big news as of recently since China released their own numbers, and they're also facing a really bad demographic problem. It was their first population decline in 60 years, down 850,000 people. And the funny thing is, I have done the same thing myself over the last year. I always go to Japan to meme them about their population problems. Meanwhile, they're not actually doing as bad as China and the Koreas. Turns out this space cowboy won after all. He finally got people to start having families. He might have lost the battle, but he won the war. The best intelligence agencies in the world. We have a couple different organizations from different countries, and then just the War Thunder community. As I've said last week, War Thunder gamers accidentally leaked sensitive F-16 secrets online, and if you've been following along, this is like the 4th or 6th time. I don't even know, I can't even keep count. Just keep doing it. War Thunder players, after leaking classified documents 2 times in the same week? Wait, what was the second thing? I didn't hear about this. Then over a dozen system manuals for the F-15 Strike Fighter plane was leaked, a vehicle that isn't even in the game. Disney in 2024, when Mickey Mouse becomes part of public domain. Everyone always wishes this, but they always figure out a way. They got too much money. They're gonna figure out how to continue to extend it until the end of time. Mickey Mouse will never be a part of public domain. It's funny to see them squirm though. When I'm arguing with an MFer from a different continent and they tell me to pull up, oh, you better be careful what you wish for, homie, because you have no idea what you're about to come up against. When you buy a German Shepherd and it doesn't even speak a word of German, this is false advertising. Yeah, why isn't someone sued all German Shepherd owners? That reminds me, I've never heard a French bulldog say wee wee either. Me normally, I despise the French people. Me to the French, the moment an American enters the conversation. Yeah, that's how you unify a continent. I'm convinced that's why all the French memes exist though. It's so people like me, Americans, can like laugh too, and then here comes the Germans out of nowhere. The UK and France watching the German economy become the #1 in Europe after defeating them in 2 world wars, splitting them, and occupying them. You literally cannot stop the Germans. It is actually so incredible. I've thought about this for years. They are unstoppable. How did they look like this for 40 years and then still come back to take that #1 spot? Guess it's probably a skill issue. CERN, using their super reality altering particle accelerator hardened collider thing to cost billions of dollars just to erase the cornucopia from the Fruit of the Loom logo and change the spelling of the Bernstein Bears. And I'm fairly certain if we were to one day call them out about this, their response would probably be something like this. Because the Fruit of the Loom thing, everyone thought there was this like cornucopia back there when I guess there never was, which still seems sus to me to this day. And then this bear thing, which again, this was like from my childhood as well. I don't know, they for some reason changed the spelling of this random children's novel, and I have no idea why. When is CERN gonna finally give us some answers? Protestants, when they enter a Catholic church and it isn't 4 beige walls and a jumbotron. It's so beautiful. Why didn't you add no? You're supposed to say no. This is like my reaction to walking to like any Catholic church throughout all of Europe her up. This lady with literal spider behavior. She just decided to wake up one morning and said, man, what if I was what if I had 8 legs? Wait, did she know what she was doing? Did she mean to, just cosplay as a spider here? When my 10-year-old niece writes KEK and sends me Pepe the Frog stickers while we're texting. Do you have any idea what power you've come across? I literally am only reviewing this because this same exact thing happened to me. How dare you go there? When international people in chat suddenly shift languages to their native language in the middle of an English conversation. Yeah, what exactly is going on here? Seems like a bunch of people just randomly short-circuited or something. Museum with signs like, don't steal the artifacts. Meanwhile, and how did you get them? Yes, I wonder, British Museum out there. I'm trying to start up my own museum with the same tactics. The first Muslim in space trying to face Mecca, while the ISS is moving at 28,000 kilometers an hour and the Earth is moving at 1,600 kilometers an hour. Well, honestly, it's just really great that they have this up in the International Space Station. Gotta make sure you're accommodating. Oh yeah, they're gonna have to do that 5 times a day too. Medieval Europeans, we need to keep our bloodline pure. Meanwhile, they're kids. You know what? With all things said, a third eye isn't the worst thing ever. At least you don't have like a freakishly large chin. You're beautiful, says this Giga Chad to this American girl. You're beautiful, says this Giga Chad to a Filipina. Wow. Talk about embarrassing. Might as well just turn around and go home because you've striked out already. It's funny because I think a lot of people from the US have just given up in teaching people the difference between your and your. I mean, I make the mistake literally on a daily basis. This battle's been raging for years in the US, so a lot of people have just kind of given up. Just spell your however you want. But for a lot of people that weren't born with English as their first language, they're still defending it. They're still telling people to speak grammatically correct. And I get it. If you went through the trouble of learning the difference, then someone born in the country that has English as the first language should have to remember that too. You deserve to get the credit. I'm just trying to help the devs make the game realistic. Timmy, you've leaked classified government documents. This is literally the War Thunder devs every single week. Please just stop for once. If Brits can play Superman and Batman, an American can play James Bond. Ooh. I don't know if they're gonna be happy about this. Okay, Henry Cavill is British. I think they're talking about Christian Bale playing Batman because he's British too. I don't think they're gonna be too happy about this. James Bond is just so integral to the UK. Like, Superman and Batman being from the US is not like super important to the characters, I'd say. I guess you could maybe argue the same for James Bond, but I don't know. The fact that he's British is a pretty key factor. But if we're gonna choose an American, I think you gotta go with this one. The number 23. Germans scaring everyone by saying 3 and 20, while most languages run away in complete fear. What? 3 and 20? This is like the whole 92 thing. That was a big thing for a little bit. Which actually, Germans say that number weird too, but just not as weird as whatever the French are doing. French MFers on their way to pronounce whatever this is as O. That's the French language for you, at least as seen by an English speaker. It's just like a bunch of random X's, sometimes like EAUs in there. The guy who invented plastics watching it change the world. Meanwhile, 100 years later. Yeah, I'm not sure he probably realized this in the moment. I think he was just focused on being excited. There is a rapid and severe economic inflation in Lego City. Yeah, keep that in mind. This looks like a wholesome moment, some man buying an ice cream, but that is a $100 bill he's given. Clearly, Lego City's facing some sort of horrible crisis on the same par as Venezuela. This makes no sense. I just don't know why this made me laugh. I'm like mad that I'm as old as I am and I've still not done this in a grocery store yet. And big thank you to my patrons. Drew's Goth Girlfriend, Triv44, aka DrewcometoCracow, Polandnextvacation, Twickenhamster, Drew's Argentinian Grandpa, $20 is a lot, Drew. Selene, Wildfang, Bryton Is, Carmel Saida, McSkillet, ortin, Patrick, Allison, Robert E, the Polish Lithuanian, the Mexican 760, Veiotic, and ZaneyBoi.